Hi everyone, it's Heidi M, and I'm doing another film review for you this week, and this time I'm going to be speaking about The Last Showgirl. The Last Showgirl is directed by Gia Coppola and written by Kate Gersten. The Last Showgirl begins when dancers of a hotel slash casino review Le Razzle Dazzle are given notice that their show, the last of its kind, is going to be closing in 2 weeks. This show has been running for 30 years, and the dancers need to figure out what's going to happen to them, because this is their life. They have chosen to be showgirls in Las Vegas. So this set of news hits like a ton of bricks for lead dancer Shelly, played by Pamela Anderson, who's been the show's central character since the 1980s. She has embodied the life of a dancer. She loves her fellow dancers and they have become sort of an extension of her family that she's been estranged from a while. So over the decades, she's developed these deep connections with former dancer Annette, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who's now a cocktail waitress at one of the local casinos, and other young dancers, including Marianne, played by Brenda Sung, and Jody, played by Kiernan Shipka. So these four women are very close friends, and they're trying to navigate life in Las Vegas as showgirls and sort of trying to make sense of what this closing of the show means for them individually. We also come to know that Shelley has had a daughter who's now a young adult named Hannah, and that relationship is quite strife, and or I guess it's broken, and she's trying to reconnect with Hannah in a way that hopefully will give more meaning to life as she moves on from the show. Hannah's played by Billie Lourd, and she was raised by her best friend's family because Shelley decided to go to Vegas and be a full-time dancer when she was younger. I did appreciate the exploration of this mother-daughter relationship in the sense that both of the characters are fragile. They have some growing up to do, and they also are played with a lot of emotion that kind of make us connect with them in their own vulnerable ways in a way. So I do appreciate that other storyline that's part of this, while we also kind of get to know Shelley and her trio of friends as they try to hustle and figure out what they're going to do with their lives. They are sort of each other's family and support when they don't have anyone else to turn to. And the other thing that is interesting in this film is that there's one other character, male character, played by Dave Bautista, who is Eddie, the low-key stage manager of Le Razzle Dazzle. He spends most of his time at work. And over the course of the film, we learn that he also shares a history with Shelley. And it's a bit of a bittersweet story. And we don't get to know this history until towards the end of the film. And I would say that if you are watching the film, sit with it. It's sort of a glimpse in a day in the life of these women. More than a day, of course, but it's sort of that feel of we're following them on this journey. Big news just hit them, and what are they going to do? Pamela Anderson really does an excellent job as Shelley here. She is vulnerable, she's raw, she's broken, she needs to grow up. She's trying to make sense of her life as somebody who's now older and does not know any other career except being a dancer in Vegas. And the other characters, the other women in the show, even though they're younger, they each have their own issues to wrestle with as they're trying to come to terms with this closure of the show and having to go and audition for other shows and having to deal with rejection and sort of the unknown, essentially. I think the film gives us a really close look at this unique life of Las Vegas showgirls and sort of the the changes that are happening now in terms of shows coming and going. I do think that it is a film about dreams and sort of the disenchantments that happen through life, but it's throughout this very specific lens, which is Las Vegas Showgirl. I watched this film with a friend of mine, and we talked about how the film gives us this vibes of The Wrestler. If you remember that film, I can't remember the year that it came out, but it was this similar thing where this is a wrestler who has aged out of that profession and kind of wants to make a return because there's a way to redeem himself and sort of reconnect with his daughter. So there's a little bit of that in this film, but it's just this idea of navigating life at different ages. And as women, who do we lean on for support? Who has our back? And sort of the things that we want to explore, perhaps a new career, reconnecting with loved ones. So I do think the film kind of delivers on the drama side of things, and it is a moving film. As I mentioned, I do appreciate Pamela Anderson in this role, and she really kind of goes all in and gives it her all. And I do like the exploration of female friendships in this film, and I want to give a shout out to the cinematography by Autumn Durrell Arkapaw. They shot the film on 16 millimeter and basically kind of had to do their best with available lighting and sort of gave this film a vibe of like a bit of a grainy vibe and a look of kind of a documentary style. There were times when the camera movements were more handheld, and to me that still irks me, but that's just more of my eyes and vision issues. But it didn't take away from the emotional connection that I had made with the characters. So do I recommend The Last Showgirl? Yes, I recommend it. I think it's a dramatic, kind of dramatically strong story. I do think, as I mentioned, Anderson is garnering some award buzz, so I could see how she would garner those nominations for sure. Jamie Lee Curtis does a really good job of being a supporting actor and character in this film, as well as the other young women in the ensemble. And Dave Bautista, I actually was surprised by him too, in this vulnerable, kind of complex character. They're all flawed. No one's perfect. And again, it's like a snippet of life. It's just in this very interesting world, which is the Las Vegas showbiz. So definitely see it if you get a chance. If you don't get to see it in cinema, it should come to digital platforms soon enough. But I do think that if you're trying to keep up with the awards season buzz, definitely check out The Last Showgirl.